It was Scrooge's own bedpost and his own room, and it was his own time ahead to make up for the past. He scrambled out of bed and clutched the bed curtains. They had not been torn down and sewed. He put on his own clothes inside out, upside down, anyway, laughing and crying at the same time. "A Merry Christmas, everybody," he shouted. "A Happy New Year to all the world." He heard the church's bell ringing out. Clash, clash, hammer, ding dong. The fog had cleared, and there was golden sunlight and fresh morning air. Scrooge flung open the window. "What day is it?" he called to a boy in the street. "What day? Why, Christmas Day." Scrooge had not lost any time after all. The Spirit had shown him all their wonders in one night, and it was still Christmas morning. "Do you know the butcher's in the next street?" Scrooge called down to the boy. "Of course," replied the boy. "Go and tell the butcher I want the biggest turkey in the shop, the price 30. Bring the man back with you so I can tell him where to take it, and I'll give you half a crown." The boy ran off down the street and came back with a splendid turkey. "I'll send it to Bob Cratchit," chuckled Scrooge. "He won't know where it came from. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim." After he had sent the man off with the turkey, he had a good look at the door next door, at the door knocker. "What an honest expression it has! It's a wonderful knocker," he said, stepping back inside. Scrooge shaved, dressed up in his best suit, and went out. He smiled at all the people he met and wished them a Merry Christmas, and they returned the greetings. Then he spotted one of the gentlemen who had been collecting for the poor. He went up and whispered something in his ear. The gentleman looked amazed and delighted. "A great many back payments are included in that," said Scrooge. Next he marched boldly up to his nephew's front door and rang the bell. "It's your Uncle Scrooge," he said. "I have come to have dinner. Will you let me in, Fred?" Of course he would. Fred nearly shook Scrooge's hand off. They had the most wonderful dinner party, and Scrooge joined in it all. Games, dancing, and carol singing. Next morning Scrooge was up early. He wanted to catch Bob Cratchit coming late to the office. Sure enough, poor Bob tried to sneak in unnoticed nearly 20 minutes after his usual time. He got rid of his hat and comforter and jumped on his stool, rotting away if his life depended on it. Scrooge glowered at him, pretending to be his old horrible self. "What do you mean by coming in at this time of day?" he snapped. "I'm very sorry," said Bob meekly. "It's only once a year." "I'm not going to stand this sort of thing any longer," said Scrooge, giving Bob a dig in the waistcoat, and therefore giving him another dig, which pushed him right into the outer office. "Therefore, I am about to raise your wages." Bob thought Scrooge had gone mad. He looked about for the long wooden ruler in case he needed to defend himself. "A Merry Christmas, Bob," said Scrooge. "A merrier Christmas than I have given you for many a year, my poor fellow. Make up the fire, let's have a real blaze, and fetch another bucket of coal. I'll look after your family and help Tiny Tim, and we'll brew up a hot toddy this afternoon to celebrate." Scrooge was better than his word. He did all that he said and more, and to Tiny Tim, who did not die. What he was a good he was a second father. Scrooge became a Scrooge a friend, a Scrooge a master, and a Scrooge a man. As the good old city of London knew, or any city in the good old world, he saw no more spirits, and it was said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas as well as any man alive. May that be true of all of us. And as Tiny Tim once said, God bless us, everyone.